Hi guys, how we doing? Okay, awesome. Okay, my video is going to be my video chat is just going to be a little bit not great quality, but we're going to be doing like a PowerPoint today, so you guys will be paying attention to that. Just a quick intro. My name is Lilly Jamoua. I am a local Chicago makeup artist and licensed esthetician. I predominantly do wedding makeup, and then during the week, I do laser hair removal, facials, stuff like that for my esthetician work. And so today we're going to be talking about skincare 101. So it's a very basic knowledge on skincare, on a skincare routine that you can make for yourself. Um, and so that way you guys have a little bit more knowledge about that, and that way you can apply it to your own lives. And that way it's a little bit easier for you guys to understand what everything means. So I see that we're all talking in two different spaces. So there's like a chat and then there's a Q&A section. Let's just stick to the Q&A section because that's like what I'm familiar with and that's what pops up. But let's keep all of the questions and conversations for after the PowerPoint. It's hard for me to share my screen and to go back and forth from the chat. But yeah, we'll get started. Awesome. Okay. So, skincare 101, basic skincare knowledge. Um, this is something that I want everybody to kind of understand and to know, and something for you guys to pay attention to. Because on social media nowadays, a lot of things can be overwhelming because they make you feel like you need all of these different products and different, like, you know, mechanics and the masks and the rollers and all these things. So just want to keep it nice and basic so that when you guys are trying to make sure that your skincare routine is great at home, it's a lot easier and it's not as overwhelming for you. Okay, so what is your skin type? So there are multiple different skin types that you can have. So oily is one of them, and that's caused by oversecretion of sebum, pretty much meaning an overproduction of oil. You can be dry, which obviously produces less natural oil. Combo, which is both a little bit of oily and dry. Whenever I see somebody who says that like the middle of their face gets oily or shiny throughout the day, I would consider them more combo skin because the outer perimeters of your skin is dry, whereas the inner part is a little bit oily. There is sensitive, so more of a genetic skin type, intolerant to most topical products. Just means that you're sensitized to things. So you really have to make sure you have minimal product, no fragrance, and anything that you're using, so that way you don't react. And then there's acne prone, which is an inflammatory condition causing pimples and blackheads. And there are different levels of severity when it comes to acne. Estheticians usually kind of stop right before, level pretty much five or as far as it goes, because at that point, we really cannot help with any topical treatments. Then you would really have to start going to a dermatologist. They can suggest different medications and they can, kind of do things on a little bit more of a dramatic scale. Whereas estheticians, it's mostly topical. So I have a really great analogy that I like to say. So your dermatologists are kind of like your orthopedic surgeons. So they're the ones that do all the heavy lifting when it comes to treating a condition. And then your estheticians are like your physical therapists. So we make sure you are continuing a healthy habits with yourself and your skin and making sure that whatever, procedure you had done is being supported. So these skin types are going to be very important for you guys because when moving forward and buying products or using products, a lot of the time they are already labeled for the skin type. So you'll see a facial cleanser, which is like a face wash, but for oily skin. So it'll be oil free. And then, or you'll have one for dry skin, and it'll say it on there what skin type it is derived for. And that's always the best way to go. That's why you have to kind of learn your skin type. Skin types are not always one and done. You won't always get a skin type and then you have that for the rest of your life. Depending on your life, your lifestyle, whatever has been going on with you, your skin type can change. Your skin type can also change whether it's like you in summer and then you in winter. Like for me, I get very dry in the winter. And then in the summer, I get a little bit more on the combo side, where on the like in the middle of my face, it gets a little bit more shiny or a little bit more oily. So you want to just pay attention to those things. So everything I'm going to be saying is pretty much the order that you want to do your skincare in. With makeup, there isn't a particular order. You can kind of go all over the place and do whatever makes you feel comfortable. But with skincare, this is pretty much a concrete like plan or a concrete way to do things in steps. So we have our pre-cleanse step, which is literally what it's named. So it's pre-cleansing. Pre-cleanses are pre-cleansers are more so oil based, or they look like a balm that kind of turns into an oil. So you always want to remember oil attracts oil. So it's used before the cleansing step. It helps remove first layer of dirt, dead skin cells, oil, or makeup. And it ensures a better clean with your cleansing step. So what it does is it takes off that first layer and it really does prep the skin for when you go in with your cleanser. That will really help have your cleanser actually work or do what it needs to do. And the pre-cleanse step is amazing if you wear makeup. Like if you're coming off of a project or whatever it may be, the best way to get rid of makeup is an oil-based cleanser. I know you probably have seen micellar waters or you've seen makeup wipes, but some people really do react to those, or they're sometimes makeup just doesn't really come off with those. So a really, really good way to get makeup off, a foolproof way, is an oil cleanser. Then your next step would be to cleanse. So it removes dirt, dead skin cells, and excess oil or makeup, whatever's left over. Refreshes your skin and gives your pores a chance to breathe. And it helps treat any skin condition you may have. For example, like if you have acne, your cleanser is going to really help clean your face so that you don't produce more acne. And then if you have more dry skin, you can get a cleanser that's more so targeted for dry skin. So it doesn't dry you out, but it's actually still cleaning and cleansing your skin. So stuff like that. Then we have our exfoliate step. So I always tell people you want to exfoliate at least 2 times a week. You don't want to overdo it. There are some products that you can use where you use it on an everyday basis because it's very gentle, but you don't want to overdo it. So I always tell people like at least 2 times a week, start with 2 times a week, and then see how you go from there. It removes dead skin cells and prevents clogged pores. It increases collagen production, which means like collagen is for elasticity in the face. So if you feel like you want more of an anti-aging remedy to your skincare, then exfoliating would be a really good step to have in there. It leaves skin looking brighter and helping skin texture. So there are 2 different types of exfoliations. You have a physical exfoliation, which is like manual scrubbing or abrasive materials. So anything with like those little balls in it is more of a physical. A loofah would be like a physical. And then we have a chemical exfoliator, which is using different chemicals, including hydroxy acid, retinols, and enzymes to gently, not in a physical way, exfoliate your skin. My favorite way is to use enzymes because they're more on the natural side. They don't have a lot of harsh chemicals. A lot of people don't really react to them, but it is the most gentle way to exfoliate. And when you're using an enzyme exfoliator, you definitely can exfoliate more than 2 times a week because it's so gentle. Physical are not my favorite. I always tell people to kind of stay away from those. To definitely don't buy anything with the little balls in it because it's horrible for the environment and it's horrible for your skin. However, for your body, you definitely can use those physical scrubs or like a loofah. The skin on your face is way, way, way more sensitive and a lot more thin than the skin on your body. So you can definitely be a little bit more physical when it comes to your body, but on the face, you want to keep it more gentle and more sensitive. Then we have masks. So masks are a little bit more on the upscale like side of things whenever you're doing your skincare, but they do help hydrate your skin. They can target skin concerns, helps improve appearance of pores, creates a spa-like experience, obviously. You could use a mask 2 to 3 times a week, but you can, it doesn't have to be a very expensive mask. You can definitely just go get a mask from a Walgreens, like a sheet mask or anything for hydration. You can get something that's more clarifying for any type of acne or you feel like you have a lot of oil production. Anything clarifying will help with that. So masks are fun. And especially if you're feeling like nothing that you're working prior to that is like helping, you could always kind of like push the envelope with a mask. And again, they do create a spa-like experience and they're a lot of fun, especially when you do it with friends. Then we have serums. So serums would kind of be like your first step after you've washed everything off. You don't always have to wash off a mask. Some masks, like sheet masks, you don't have to rinse those off, but other masks that you can have on, you would want to rinse them off. So your serum is like your first step. No more water is needed for the rest. So it's a lightweight liquid with a viscous texture that can target different skin concerns. Skin concerns like acne, clogged pores, anti-aging, dullness, and dryness. You do not need them in your routine, but they're a great add-on. So because they're more of a concentrated liquid for skincare, they are expensive. There are more drugstore brands that they're way more affordable. However, just remember that, it's just a part of your routine that you might not need. But if you want it, it's a great add-on, but it is a little bit more on the expensive side. But always remember, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's so much more concentrated than like your normal moisturizer would be. And so it really does help in those skin concerns that you guys might have. Then we have our moisturizer. So towards the end, you are putting on your moisturizer and you're like, I don't even know what this does, if this does even anything for my face. But it does. It hydrates the top layer of your skin, locks in the benefits from previous products used and moisture, protects skin from environmental irritants. So like if your skin's really, really dry and you don't use any type of moisturizer, you're kind of leaving it up for like, it's becoming more vulnerable, right? Like you want to make sure that it's nice and moisturized and nothing can harm it in any way. Helps reduce skin problems such as extreme dryness or oiliness. So a really, really fun misconception about oily skin is you want to dry it out. You want to make sure all the oil is taken off your skin. But to be honest, that actually does more harm than good. You don't want to strip your skin and you don't want to dry out all the oil from your skin because then that just tells your body to produce more of it. So you're actually doing the opposite. You're not helping your skin, you're making it worse. So for a lot of people who have oily skin, I tell them make sure you are moisturizing very well so that your body doesn't produce more oil. Because where it lacks, it will start to produce more. So you want to make sure that you are keeping things balanced, especially if you have oily skin. So we're down to our sun protection. So SPF, it's very, very important for everyone, all skin types, all skin tones, in my opinion. It helps protect skin from harmful effects of the sun, protects skin from UV rays, from sunburns. Actually, it helps prevent aging like a lot. A majority of the aging that you go through for your skin visually I want to say 90% is from sun exposure. 10% is like the rest is like genetics and environmental and all of the rest and the stress and all of those things. But 90% of the wrinkles that you get on your skin and the aging that you see over time is from sun exposure. That doesn't mean you need to stay out of the sun and we all become vampires, but it just means you have to start using some type of sun protection, whether that means like a hat or an umbrella or using an SPF. Even if you feel like you react to SPF, they make mineral sunscreens now, and those a lot of people love for more sensitive skin. They don't really react; they're more on the natural side. But you want to make sure that you are using your sun protection when you do go outside. I always tell people only use it in the morning. You don't ever need to use it at night, and make sure that we're washing our face at night because we don't want to have the sunscreen just sitting on our face. Also, great tip, the number that you see on your sun protector or the SPF, that means it's how many minutes in between each time you need to reapply. So if you have an SPF 50, that sunscreen will work for 50 minutes and then you have to reapply. If we're wearing makeup during the day, they now make sunscreen powders. So you can get one of those sunscreen powders and you could just swipe it over your makeup instead of having to obviously take it off, reapply, and then put your makeup all on again. That's not realistic for anyone. But they do make powder SPFs, which I love. I love a lot. I keep it in my kit for my makeup stuff. So if the bridesmaid's like, I really want to wear SPF because I don't like to use the SPF lotion underneath the makeup. Sometimes makeup and SPF do not mix well, and the chemicals and just it doesn't make makeup sit well. So what I like to do is I like to get SPF powder, and if the one of the bridesmaids or the bride requests like a little bit of sun protection, I'll put that on her instead of an actual sunscreen underneath the makeup. Plus, because you have makeup on as well, I always tell people it's a little bit of protection because it's not just bare skin. So you want to think about that too. The next clip, I'm going to show you a video. There's not going to be any music or anything. I don't know why I can't get audio to kind of transfer to you guys, but we don't need the audio. It's pretty much going to be a video of how sunscreen actually helps you. So it's going to be in ultraviolet, like the filter that they're putting on is called ultraviolet. So it's going to kind of like look black and white, and you're going to see what SPF looks like under the ultraviolet filter so that you kind of see what the sun is hitting or how much damage the sun has caused already. And they're showing that like even glasses protect from the sun. They're like a barrier. But this is everyone seeing their skin, their bare skin, in the ultraviolet screen. So they see all of their freckles, all the sun damage that they have on their face, and they're reacting to it. Because it's not, you can't see it in the bare, on your bare eyes. And so when they put on the sunscreen, it's going to look just like the glasses. It's going to look black. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of the video so that you can see how the SPF is actually protecting your skin. It's creating a barrier between you and the sun. And that way it's doing its job. And after 15 minutes, that color will start to wear off because you need to reapply your SPF. It's not just like I'll put it on one time and you're done. You need to reapply it. Okay, so that's the end. We can do questions now. If anyone has a question, you guys go for it. In the Q&A portion, I will answer them the best I can. I'm going to stop sharing. Here we go. Yes. So even if you're not wearing any makeup, it's a good idea to pre-cleanse because you're taking off whatever oils you have from that day as well off of your skin. And that way it will help your cleanser work even better. Is the SPF powder translucent? Yes, it is. It is definitely translucent. I don't know if they make any others with any type of pigment in it, but I know for a fact that they are definitely translucent. It's like a translucent powder, like a makeup powder. Is it good to mix SPF lotion with regular lotion? No, only because you might be diluting the SPF. However, they make SPF lotions that you can just put on, like you can have that lotion just for daytime, and then you can have a moisturizer for nighttime. So the moisturizer you use during the day has SPF in it already. If that makes any sense. Like you can find a lotion with SPF in it, so you don't have to mix them. It just comes with it. No, I don't send any emails out. I'll give you my email and you guys can request the slides for me and I'll send it to you that way. Can you build your skin back up from sun damage or irreversible? Depending on how bad the damage is, majority of the time, no, just because a lot of it is permanent. But you can over time make it better and make sure that you take care of the spots that you've already gotten from the sun, or like a sunburn is really bad and obviously we recover from them, but your skin itself has that damage, so you want to think about it that way. Any recommendations for brands? Yes, Dermalogica is a really good brand. um, I really like Tatcha. All anything that's Korean skincare right now is amazing. CeraVe, Cetaphil from drugstores, those are really great as well. Let me reshare my screen. The email was on the Q&A portion, so that way you guys can see it. It's right there. Whoopsies. Let me make it big. This is crazy. Okay, there we go. Jeez. So it's lilyjam9@gmail.com. So you guys will email me. And if you guys want any slides that I've done in the past or this slide, I definitely can send it over to you. It's going to be like in PDF form. So they're just going to look like pictures. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Any other questions? You're very welcome. Any other questions? You're so welcome. Okay. We don't have any other questions. I'm going to wrap it up early. And just send me over an email requesting the Skincare 101 slides, and I'll send those over to you guys tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I get back on. But next week is going to be a lot of fun because I will show you guys my brush kit. So, all of my makeup brushes that I have in my personal kit and I have in my professional kit. And I will kind of go over each brush and show you what they're made for and like what they're called and all of that. So that's usually a lot of fun and a lot of people like that. It's very hands-on and we kind of keep the Q&A section open the whole time. So we're having discussions and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun and I hope to see you guys next week for that class. All right, I'm going to wrap up then since we don't have any more questions. You guys have great rest of your week. Have a good weekend and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.